Hi everyone, thank you for coming here. Australia is generally considered to be an expensive country to live in. Although the cost of living in Australia can vary depending on the region, but in general, the food, transportation and housing here are quite high. The prices of things here really hit me when I moved to Sydney recently. Since transportation can be a significant cost for many people like me, I thought it would be good to cover the options of saving some bucks while traveling in and around Sydney. Irrespective of whether you're visiting Sydney or have been staying here, this video will definitely be helpful for you. If you do not own a car like me, you're left with mainly three options. First, taxis. Taxis in Australia are definitely more expensive compared to the other modes of transportations. For example, a distance of just 6 minutes is showing me around $11. And this cost may further increase depending on factors such as time of the day, traffic conditions, and any additional fees or surcharge. Unless you're sharing your ride with somebody or are traveling in a group to be able to split the cost, I would not recommend taxi if you want to travel under a budget. Second, rent a car. Although rental car cost can vary depending on the type of car, rental company and rental duration, but on an average, you can expect to pay around 60 to 100 Australian dollars per day, excluding the fuel cost. Again, this can be a relatively expensive choice if you're not traveling in a group, but I would recommend this option for its ease and convenience, especially when you're exploring different cities in Australia. Lastly, public transport. Australia has a well-developed transportation system comprising of trains, buses, light rails, and ferries. You can travel around Sydney using an Opal card or any credit or debit card that you have. Opal card works like the Delhi Metro card. You tap on at your boarding station and you tap off at your destination station. Disclaimer, there is no respite for people like us. Even public transportation here is not cheap. Traveling to the next station itself takes around 2.5 Australian dollars, which definitely does not fall under the affordable umbrella, but it's still less costly and more favorable than the other transportation modes. So based on my experience, I'm going to share some tips on how you can save on public transport in Sydney. Travel as much as you want on metro, train, ferries, tram services within the Opal network, and you're never going to pay more than 17.8 per day from Mondays to Thursdays, 8.9 per day from Fridays to Sundays, and $50 for the entire week. So unless I have to travel for work, I generally prefer exploring new spots or places on weekends because I know I won't end up spending more than $8.9 per day as per the weekend cap. So I suggest you also plan your travel accordingly. Just a note that Sydney Airport Station access fees is not included under these caps. During off-peak times, it costs less. So plan your travel during less traffic or less busy hours. For example, at around 6 a.m., train from my home to office costs $4 only, whereas the same train costs me $5.72 at around 8 a.m., which is peak office timing. So when I'm traveling to office, I ensure I leave early in the morning to be able to save frugal amount of 1.5 Australian dollars. A tip, I strongly recommend downloading the Opal app to be able to see and compare real-time prices of public transportation system across different routes based on timings. If you change your mind of using the public transport within a stipulated time, you will not be charged for it. If suppose you tap on for traveling, but you change your mind and you no longer want to travel, you can simply tap the same card on the same station within a stipulated time and your charges will get reversed instantly. You can reverse your tap on within 15 minutes for light rail, within 30 minutes for metro and train and ferry services. So as an example, if I tap on station A and tap off at the same station A within 30 minutes, I will not be charged a penny for it. But please note that this facility is not available in bus services. If you tap on in a bus, your charges would not be reversed because there are high chances that the bus has already moved from its station. If you transfer within 1 hour of your last tap off using the same mode of transportation, you will be charged for only one way. As an example, from home to office, it costs me $5 one side via train. So obviously from office to back home would also cost me the same $5. But if I make my return trip from office to home within 60 minutes of my last trip, my return trip fee of 5 AUD would be waived off. So from home to office and back from office to home, it would cost me only 5 AUD as opposed to the otherwise total amount of 10 Australian dollars. Now, Sydney's public transportation comprises of trains, buses, ferries, and light rails, or call it trams. In general, ferries are costlier than trains and trains are costlier than buses and light rails. So if you want to save some cents, you can travel by buses, but buses sometimes tend to have delays due to on-road traffic. So I generally prefer the trains. And also, in my opinion, trains are easier to navigate than buses. Apart from all this, Opal also offers concessions for children, students and seniors, etc. You can refer to the NSW Transport website to check the eligibility. So these are all the cost-saving options I have put to you so far. If you feel you can help us with some more ways to save in traveling, please let me know in the comments below. It would be beneficial for me as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.